If you're a real estate agent and you're tired of cold calling, door knocking, and spending money on ads, then subscribe to this podcast. We discuss leveraging the power of YouTube for your real estate business and how these strategies earned us over $1 million in GCI our first year in real estate. My name is Levi Lascsak and my partner is Travis Plumb. Let's get started. All right, awesome. So today, this is YouTube for real estate. We are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Carlos Redlich, and he is one of the top copywriters in the country. So super excited to have him. Today, we're going to be covering how to write opt-in pages. Now, I know we talk a lot about YouTube for real estate, but also, I know a lot of people that listen to this information. This does apply to real estate. So we have an opt-in page whenever people click on our buyer or seller survey, right? I mean, ultimately, we're always driving traffic to somewhere. We want traffic to go to a certain place, what is coined as a funnel, ideally. So an opt-in page is really the beginning stages of a funnel, but your calls to action, as we discuss in our trainings and whenever we're helping people build out YouTube channels, is we're always saying, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom call, all in the description below. All of that is feeding into a funnel. Now, if it's going to a Zoom call, they're going to land on your landing page. And so that your wording, your heading, everything that you apply to that is very important from that standpoint. Now, what Carlos is going to be talking about today is going to be geared more towards, I would say, educational type of services or things where typically you have something that you have an offer, right? So an offer of a product or service you provide to sell. So this is something that we talk with a lot of agents right here as far as whenever it comes to building out, in our business. I'm not going to shy away with it and just say that we're brokered through EXP Realty, and there's some other brokerage models that are going through this that are modeling the same business model, which is having the opportunity to attract agents. Well, initially, if they were to reach out and contact you as well and come to a spot to where they would book a call with you or get into the process, and if you had something that you had to offer, then this is where they would find that information and see the initial copy of that. And this is what starts that process and helps people understand whether or not they want to move forward to the next step with you. So as we cover this topic, I think all of this is all very important. You have to think about ways that this is going to apply to your business and what you have to offer. So whether you are trying to attract buyers, you're trying to attract sellers, you're trying to attract other agents, or you have a digital course or a workshop, you could be putting on a live workshop over the weekend. And I know several brokers that, offer brokerage in a box type workshops, so whatever that case may be, it all starts with the opt-in page, because you got to drive the traffic to somewhere and you got to get people's buy-in. So what you say matters. And that's what this discussion is going to be about. So Carlos, did that kind of or did I confuse everybody even worse?
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what we're going to be going over. In fact, some of the
can you turn it on, please?
All right, we got some hot mics just again, and we are doing this live as well. So just keep an eye out, please. If you're on the call for right now, we will open up some Q&A later, but just please check your mics and stay on mute so Carlos can get through the primary portion of this process here, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A.
Perfect. So yeah, thank you again for having me on here. And just like what Levi was talking about, today we're going to be going over opt-in pages. And I know he gave a really great explanation of it, but just to kind of recap it, the opt-in pages are where you're going to be sending people, whether that's from a YouTube video, a billboard, it doesn't matter, whatever the advertisement they're coming from, you're going to typically send them to a place where you can capture their information. And if you're not capturing information, it's going to be very hard to remarket to these folks. Now, you can do things with like remarketing ads and stuff like that, but it's really important that you capture the lead's information or the prospect's information so they become a lead, because now they're in your database. You're able to put them through a funnel where where you can follow up with them through emails. Typically, I'll have 30, 60, or 90-day email campaigns, which sounds like a lot. But the reason I do that is because you never know at what stage of the game someone is. And if you stop emailing them, you're going to not be top of mind anymore. And if you're not top of mind, you're not going to be the person that they're going to reach out to. So I'm a big fan of having longer email sequences. And then whenever someone whenever someone takes action you want, maybe they buy a home or do something else, then you can remove them from that list and put them into like this person bought list type of thing. So they don't always have to get all of those 90 emails or whatever it is, but it's a good way of staying in front of people. And so opt-in pages are critical to making that work, because if you don't have a good opt-in page, you're just going to get less people to come onto your list. So if you send 100 people to your page, a pretty solid opt-in rate would be about 20% of those. So say 20 out of the 100 people who come to your page should be able to give you their contact information. Maybe that's name, email, telephone number. Maybe that's just email. The choice is up to you. But a lot of folks will use that as a benchmark. So if you're getting opt-in rates of like 2% or 5%, good thing that you're doing the opt-in pages, but it means that there's room for improvement. But if you're hovering around a 20% opt-in rate, doesn't mean it can't be improved, but it means you've kind of hit almost like an industry standard where you're doing stuff right. But if it goes below that, it means there's some tweaking that needs to be done. So what we'll be going over today it's a specific way I like to write opt-in pages. Now, the ones I'll show you are going to be for my business, but this is the exact same way you would write an opt-in page for real estate, for selling nutrition. It really doesn't matter what industry or niche you're in, as long as you follow this model. There's a very good chance that your opt-in page will pretty much start out at a 20% conversion. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking over a simple opt-in page formula, why each one of these elements is important, and then some examples. So the formula that I like to use is very simple. It's a headline, a call to action, and some urgency. Now, headlines are going to be very important for opt-in pages. Now, they're important for pretty much any piece of copy, but specifically with opt-in pages, it's critically important because it's really the main piece of copy on that page. For example, the copywriting slides, like if you guys wanted to get these slides, you could go to, this will probably be easier instead of all that stuff, americasbestcopywriter.com/slides. So if you go here, you'll see I've got a headline, I've got a way for them to opt in, a call to action button, and then I've got some urgency here because this is only going to be available while I'm doing these trainings over the next 3 or so weeks. So here is a little example of an opt-in page that works well, but this is how all of my pages are. For example, here's another where I have a headline, a little forum for people to put their info, a call to action button, and then some urgency. So you'll want to make sure that all of the copy or all of the opt-in pages that you're using have these elements in place. Now, when you're writing headlines, it's really important that you've got a strong headline. We'll go through how to make them strong, but there's a few things you want to keep in mind. When you're writing your headlines, if you can be a bit more specific in what you're saying, and again, I'll give you an example of this, but if you can be more specific, it'll typically pull better results because it's marketing to a specific person or a specific problem they're having versus being super generalized, right? So let's go through some examples here. So here's an example, and we'll go through your normal one, and then we'll beef it up slowly so you can kind of see how it looks like. So let's take this headline: how to quit any day job. Well, if we were to beef this up, we would say, how to quit any day job and still earn a residual monthly income with ease. So the thing is, if you're quitting a day job and somehow making a residual monthly income with ease, this feels very counterintuitive. And if you're able to include some kind of headline that is counterintuitive, it's going to pique some curiosity, it's going to capture their interest, and people will have a higher chance there will be a higher chance that someone is going to want to opt in because they've got this curiosity and they're like, well, how does this person quit their job and still make money, right? So for example, if you're in the real estate space, one of the very common lead magnets that you can use, or one of the common things that you can use in your headline and when you're on your opt-in pages, is maybe offering a list of houses that they can't find on Zillow, right? Or I heard Levi talking about a workshop, and I haven't seen it done necessarily in this space, but I thought it'd be very cool to do like, opt in for a workshop showing you how to buy a house in the next, say, 30 days or 60 days or whatever the time frame is. But that type of stuff is going to apply to someone who's looking for a house, for example, and you're going to show them how to do it in a specific time frame within, say, 30 or 60 days, right? So when you get, again, we'll go through this a little bit more, but you want to make sure your first headline, when you write it, it may be good, but you want to take another second or two and see if you can beef it up with some specificity, or maybe adding a counterintuitive element to it. Here's another one. Here's a non-beefed up vegan style headline: how to get 100,000 Instagram followers fast. That's fine. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, that's a great claim, great, cool headline. But if we were to beef it up, we would say how anyone can get 100,000 followers fast, even if they barely post or check Instagram. Well, now it's becoming a bit more counterintuitive. And now how anyone can do it means, well, anyone can do this, right? So we're beefing up this headline and making it a lot more impactful. And if we're going to be even more beefed up and become more specific, we would actually say, here's how coaches and consultants can get 100,000 followers fast, even if they barely post or check Instagram. So if you can see that, you can see the progression on how every single one of these headlines are consistently being improved just by adding a little bit more specificity to it, and it's going to appeal to the audience even more.
Allow me to take a quick break to remind you that we have very important links in the description below. If you want the full story of how we closed over $1 million in commissions our first year and over $2.3 million in commissions our second year, check out the first link. Also, you have the link to our #1 Amazon best-selling book, Passive Prospecting. Last, if you enjoy this podcast and you're a giving person, leave a 5-star review, please. Now back to the episode.
Okay, so let's take a look at another one here. There we go. Okay, how to tap into your authentic self and live your dream life. So this is more, oopsies. This is usually stuff like a life coach or something might use, or someone in the personal development space. But if we were to beef that headline up, we would say how to tap into your authentic self and live your dream life, even if you don't know where to start. There's that counterintuitive element to it, right? How to buy your dream house, even if you've never bought a house in your life. Well, that's pretty cool. And if we were to do a more beefed up headline of that, we would say how anyone in Miami can buy a house in 30 days or less. You want to be even more specific? How anyone in Miami that's 40 years or younger can buy a house over the next 30 days or less, right? In Miami or whatever, right? So we're getting more specific. And that way, when someone hits our page, it's the copy is speaking directly to them. You want to be careful with this, and I'm only throwing this out there because some people, it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes people will take the specificity part so far that you narrow down the audience to the point where it's like you're only really targeting now like 10 people, right? And that's not going to be that great. But if I was to target, like we talked about, people under 40 in Miami who want to buy a house in 30 days, that's still a pretty big audience. But if we said, how anyone under 40 that likes Pokemon wants to, buy a house in 30 days, it might start, that actually might work now that I'm saying it out loud. But if you're targeting Pokemon people under 40 that are in Miami that want to buy a house, but hopefully you see the idea. You don't want to pitching yourself so much that you don't leave yourself a big enough audience to actually make money with. Okay, the next step now in your landing page is you've got to have your call to action and button copy. You'll see a lot of folks when they're kind of just starting out online or doing any kind of marketing, their button here that submits the form sometimes just says like submit or enter, right? And that's fine, but it's not that great. If you want to improve it, you add kind of like a statement in that a benefit driven statement or a statement as the call to action thing. So here it would be like, yes, get me clients. If someone was opting in to get that list of homes in the Miami area, you would say, yes, send me my list, or yes, send me these homes, or yes, I want my dream home, right? But it's a statement that when that's going to get them to want to click on that link even more. If you just have submit or enter, again, it can work. You're going to get some results, but if you're trying to tweak the conversion so you get the most bang for your buck, and the more, you just convert more of the people that hit the page, you're going to want to use these tricks. And this is one of those right here. And you can see it again in this one. I have a martial art offer, right? And so it says, do you want to win a free copy of the Tao of Jeet Kune Do? Click here to enter the contest, right? So that's the call to action button. We just want to make sure that it, again, has a statement there. It's not just something like submit or enter here or anything like that. Again, here's just another example. It says get yours now, another statement in the button. And then when we have urgency, and again, I'll go through my pages up here, you want to make sure you're adding this element to your opt-in pages. And I've tested a lot of stuff with urgency. I've done like fake urgency, where you have like a fake 24-hour countdown timer. Doesn't work that. I shouldn't say it doesn't work that well. It can work well. The times it doesn't work well is every once in a while, Facebook will flag that and say, hey, this is like a fake countdown timer, don't use it. And so you kind of get temporarily banned with that ad. And so you have to go through the process of getting it unbanned, and so you can run it again. Not the best situation. It's not a huge issue, but what I've started testing with my own stuff is I just put real deadlines, and it still works. It still works well. I've had 15-day deadlines. I've had 24-hour deadlines. As long as it's a real deadline, it can still work. I think the longest deadline I've had is like a 90-day headline or deadline. I'm sorry, not headline, a 90-day deadline, where it's like, enter this contest now to win this free book. You got 90 days. I had a little 90-day countdown timer, and the conversions went up on my opt-in page when I added the 90-day countdown timer as versus when I did not, right? So if you're worried about like, hey, my countdown timer is going to be like 15 days or 20 days or something like that, it's okay. The thing is, you have to start thinking of real reasons. And that's maybe where some folks get hung up, is they're like, well, what's a good reason for this promotion to end, right? I'm always like, for example, if you guys are always going to sell houses, well, then that's fine. But maybe this workshop that they're opting in for is only going to be available for the next 7 days or something like that. And then if you want to repurpose that workshop, you can create a new landing page, repurpose it, and then launch it again. But maybe that specific offer, you can just say, hey, this thing, we're only going to give you a 7-day pass to watch this video. And that's something else you can do, is think of it like a 48-hour pass or a 72-hour pass, kind of like a movie pass to watch a movie, right? And so when somebody opts in, you say, hey, here's your 48-hour pass to watch this video. And there's technology out there that can cookie someone. So when somebody opts in, 48 days later, that video on the next page can disappear, and you can have some other message there, maybe like, hey, this video is over, book a call here with us, or whatever the thing is you want to do. But you want to make sure that you're adding urgency to your pages, because that's the other thing that's going to make people take action. If people don't have a deadline, they don't really have a strong reason to act. Right. I'm actually doing this with one of my copywriting mentorship offers. We're telling people, because we're running a Thanksgiving offer. Thanksgiving's on Thursday. And so I'm telling my sales guy, make sure you tell everybody, if they want to think about it, that's fine. But this offer closes on Thanksgiving. So if they come to us on Friday, the deal is the full package deal. We're not giving them a half off special. So that's pushing people to say, you know what, let me just get started now, because that urgency is pushing them over the fence. If they already trust you, they already kind of know you and like you a little bit, the urgency is something that will push them to take action, whether that's on a phone call or a sale, or that's even on an opt-in page where we're simply asking them to give us their contact information. And then again, here's an example of an urgency style headline where I'm saying, hey, this is a 24-hour giveaway. Claim my numerology cheat sheet for only $2.50 today. Again, only available for a limited time. So you can use urgency, whether it's as a countdown timer, like what I do a lot of times, or you can just use it in the headline. And I would still use a countdown timer, but you can use it in the headline, and that's still attacking those elements. So we want to have our headline, our call to action button, and then making sure that we've got our urgency. So just to kind of go through this again, I know we went through it in the beginning, but now that we went through the slides, this might make more sense. So we've long. I want to keep it short, simple, and to the point so you guys can actually implement this. What I want to do now is on the second part of this call is actually take copy that maybe you guys have written, whether it was like ads or landing pages or any of that stuff, maybe from the last training, and then let's go through that, critique that, so you have something that you can launch immediately and start testing. So Levi, do we have anybody that may have some copy that they wanted to submit to us that we can check out?
I didn't get anything ahead of time. Nobody, as far as I know, reached out. So we can just put the call out here on the call. If anybody has a website or a current landing page or an email or something that you have that you are trying to direct traffic towards and would like us to take a look.
Different templates and things like that you can use, but that's something very simple. So, and then Kayla just says, I'm trying to direct to a YouTube channel. So so that's something that's pretty cool. So if you're driving traffic from whatever it might be, but don't know where to start. So if you're trying to get people to, and Levi actually might have, will for sure have a great, better input when it comes to like growing your channel organically. But if we're talking about getting people to your channel from your opt-in page, one of the things that I do is whether they're coming, like I have Instagram ads and I send people from Instagram to send me a direct message. And then from the direct message, I send them a link to go opt in for like this funnel you see on my page. And then if I wanted them to go check out my YouTube channel or any other stuff, on the next page, you can just have links to all of your social media channels. I'm sending it to your email now. While you're here, make sure you click on the buttons below to check out our YouTube videos where you can be shown, all of the latest or all the coolest houses that we have, now and more information to help your decision in the future. Something like that. But it's the point is you're telling them exactly what to do. It's a very short 1-minute video, but you can push people to it. Okay, and then here's another question. What are you using to create that link? The link, I'm not using Linktree or anything. I think so. If you're talking about the link of pushing people now to your YouTube channel after they opt in, you just put a link directly to your channel. I wouldn't necessarily have, you can put a little link tree and then they click on that and it's got access to all of your socials. But I'm a fan when it's on a landing page after they've opted in, I like to have each individual link right there. So it's one less step, because if they have to click on your link tree and then they go and see all of those, all of the links to all of your socials, that's one step that could be avoided if you just put it on the landing page. So I'm a fan of just removing as many steps that aren't necessary and keeping it on there. I'm a TC wanting to get agents in my target area to reach out to me to partner. So this is where typically a book a call funnel, if you're enrolling people to partner with you, then one of the things that you can do is have people. So the opt-in page is basically a landing page. Yes. So the opt-in page the landing pages, and sorry, I'm reading these and trying to answer both at the same time. So I'll answer the opt-in page and then go right back to you, Diana. So the opt-in page is basically, the way I look at it, there's a landing page, there's two types of landing pages. One is an opt-in page where you're just requesting their contact information. And another landing page is like a sales page where you're asking them to purchase something on that page. So landing page is kind of like just the big term, and then under landing page, you have these two little variations. So this, I call it an opt-in page. Some people call it a lead page or lead generation page, because we're capturing their information so that they become a lead. Now, to answer your question, Diana, what I like to do when I'm trying to enroll anybody, like for our higher ticket mentorships, or even if like in your situation where you want other people or you want agents to partner with you, you have them opt in. Let me just exit it. So you have them opt in. In fact, I would model very closely like what I'm showing you here. You could say, invitation, want to partner with me, so I show you how to grow your real estate business, or something like that, right? They put in their information. You say, yes, send the case study on how that's possible. And then on the next page, I would have a video presentation about 10 minutes long, roughly 10, 15 minutes long, that'll basically walk them through the opportunity of partnering up with you, what that looks like, the benefits of it. If you have testimonials, and I would put like 60% of the video should be a bunch of testimonials of people talking about how amazing it is partnering up with you. And then at the end, I would, if this essentially has to be done on a call afterwards, I would say, so if you want to see if you qualify to be on our team, make sure you pick a time from the calendar below and speak with me or whoever it is on your team, and we'll give you all the details and see if it's a good fit, right? So this is what we call a book a call funnel, because they opt in, and ideally what we frame that video, we call it a case study. That's why it's important to have testimonials in there. We call it a case study video, because here when we say invitation, want to partner up with me to do whatever, and they put in their info, and then you say, yes, send a case study. They are literally requesting that video, which is going to sell them. So there's a higher chance of them consuming it. And the reason I say that is because if you were to say, send me the PDF, and you had a video on the next page and then sent them a PDF too, there's less likely, it's a smaller chance that they're going to watch the video because they're requesting a PDF. So it all has to be congruent. So if again, just to kind of restate this, you want them to request the case study, and then on that next page, the case study video is in fact your sales video with testimonials, presenting the opportunity, getting them to book a call, and then from there you enroll them. In fact, one of the things that I would suggest after they book a call, so they watch the video, or they opt in, watch the video, book a call, is send them to what's known as an appointment confirmation page. This will improve your show up rates. And on that next page, it says after they've picked a time and booked and scheduled, everything's good, they should be redirected to another page, a third page that says, that should have like a video of you that'll say, hey, thank you so much for booking your call. I'm really excited to speak with you at the time you selected. Here's what you've got to do next. Make sure you come to the training with your top 3 questions that you have, and anything else you might have that you might want them to do, right? So sometimes I say, make sure you also watch this interview I did with John Carlton, a famous copywriter. So you could say, make sure you watch this interview before our call where where Levi interviewed me on why my team is so successful, right? Because that's more stuff that's going to get them over the fence to want to work with you, because now they're on your calendar, they're booked. Now everything you're doing before they speak with you is geared towards getting them to trust you more, believe in you more, and just make this as close to a lay down sale as possible. So when they speak with you, you're almost like a guru, because they've seen your video, 3 or 4 times already, seen you being interviewed as an expert. Maybe you're speaking on stage, whatever kind of credibility builder videos that you send them. By the time they speak with you now, they're pretty much ready to go. They just may have any final details might be, but they're pretty much a lay down close at that point. So hopefully that answers that question.
Hey, Carlos.
Yes.
Let me jump back to that question real quick from Diana. So she says, I'm a TC wanting to get agents in my target area to reach out to me to partner. So if you wanted to do that through an opt-in, so a TC, I'm assuming she means transaction coordinator, you would want to, and looking at what Carlos has here, if you think about this, you want to have the opt-in page, right? You want to hit a major pain point with real estate agents. So it might be attention real estate agents or attention realtors. Discover how to zero cost your transaction coordination. So you never have to, you never have to monitor deals, go back and forth, talk to, watch or monitor the 100 emails that go back and forth when the deal goes under contract. Basically, you're, and then, enter information, and then your call to action, your button could say, yes, show me how right now or something. And then if you wanted to do that, I'm just thinking from a transaction coordinator standpoint. So basically, attention real estate agents, because you want to target specifically real estate agents, how to zero cost, or how to outsource your transaction coordinator at no cost. And so you never have to. And so you never have to is the transition into the major pain points, so that, it makes them even more intrigued. And also you could say, you could put that urgency on it, because I'm assuming if you're a solo transaction coordinator, you have a cap probably on agents you can work with at the time. Now, if you expand a team, you could say for the next 10 people that opt into this or something, then once they opt into that, you could have a simple 10-minute video, which is, hey, watch this video and I'll show you exactly how we do this in less than 10 minutes. That video, and then below that, you could have a book a call. And so the people that book the call with you, the agents that book a call with you as a transaction coordinator, have, number one, clicked on your opt-in page. Number two, watched the video. Now they've booked a call with you. Those are 3 different steps they've taken. So when they get on your calendar, you've got a highly qualified, motivated agent that likely wants to do business with you. And now it's just probably going to work out through the logistics. And so from that standpoint, you're like, okay, once they get on, you say, okay, yeah, well, any other questions I could answer for you, because you have the video. And so it's something very simple. Now driving the traffic there, that would be a whole nother class, right? On running ads, if you wanted to do that or target it. But even if you did something, it wouldn't take that much, a couple of dollars a day, really, probably you could do that through Facebook ads and probably drive some significant traffic to that. And you'd be surprised. I still talk to agents this day and age that don't understand how to zero cost TC. We've had a free transaction coordinator since we've started, and there's a way to do that. And so, it's the first person we brought on, because once that deal goes under contract, it's 30 days of so much back and forth that it is just not worth your time as a real estate agent to micromanage every single aspect of that. And if you miss an email here or there or a deal, it could throw the whole transaction, off base. So, or off closing time. So that, I think that's something that every agent should have a TC, and every agent should understand how to zero cost that, because you should implement that from the very beginning of your business. That's the first outsourcing you should do. And it allows you to focus more on your business and get the next person that's in place. So those are the types of things you want to think about from that standpoint. And even as an agent, going back like a workshop, if you were doing a weekly or a monthly webinar for first-time home buyers, that would be another very specific target audience of, live webinar for discover how first-time home buyers can still take advantage of this market, even with crazy interest rates, right? Or how to get last year's interest rates in today's market. That would be something people would be like, wait a second, I can get last year's interest rates in today's market. How does that happen? I would opt into that all day if I was in the market or I came across that. So those types of things you want to think about as far as wording, because wording does matter, but it can also be very simple, short and concise to really get that point across, because the people that click into this are going to be extremely motivated and more likely to do business with you.
I love it. I love it. Like you said, the traffic part would probably be like a whole nother type of class and stuff. But I did want to share one thing that's been working really well for me for this type of funnel specifically, and that's using Instagram DM ads. And they're very simple. And what I'll do, and let me just, I'll just pull one up. I'll just go to my Instagram. Let's see. But what I'll do is I'll just have people. I'll post a story. You know what? Let me just show you, and then I'll talk it through. Okay, so here's a guy who's been responding. So here's one of my story ads. It's this is a Thanksgiving special I'm running. I also have ads targeting real estate agents, and it gets them to have me build them a book a call funnel, like what I just spoke about. So I know so when you talked about target real estate agents, this is the first thing I went to because this is how I target them. But
and I know what you're about to get into, and I want everyone, this is very important because this is something you could do for free right now without having to build out a landing page, without having to think about all that other stuff. So I know what you're about to do, right?
Yeah. So with this, you don't need a opt-in page. You don't need any of that. I still use it, and I'll show you how I use it. But this is an Instagram DM ad. So what I do is I post in my Instagram story an ad, and that ad, that's your ad. You can write whatever you want on it, but I basically give them the gist of what's included in my offer, and then I tell them to direct message me a specific keyword. That way, they're doing what I say. They're in compliance, but then it also tells me, that they actually responded to this specific ad. So here's one of these ads. This guy responded this morning to it. This is for a $2,500 offer. He said he's interested in learning. I take him through a little bit of a conversation.
Carlos, can you talk through what you posted on there, the copy on that and try to think about, our audience is real estate agents. So if we can kind of tweak this. So can you bring that up so they can see what you typed out on there and talk us through this portion first, because this is simply just typing some text, right? And then posting it on your story, which I think everybody knows how to do. Right.
And then the key thing with this is I am doing paid ads with this, and I'm doing it as a boosted story. So I'm doing it from my phone. I'm not logging into the Facebook ad account.
Yeah, you don't have to learn you can boost this post. You don't have to learn how to run a Facebook ad, but if you know how to post a story and how to boost, which there's a little button that just says boost, and you hit boost, and then your budget, it's very simple. So yes. All right.
Exactly. So you just target, in your guys' case, you literally can just target like real estate agents, your age group that you want to go after, and what city or state that you want to go after.
Or home buyers, you could target.
Right. So you can target these folks. Now for this one, this is actually a little bit more of a straight offer. I would typically not advise this if you're going after people who don't know you. The reason so what I mean by that is these people have seen my ads for the last 4 months or so. And my ads can be educational. Some of them are just videos that I'm not pitching anything. It's just videos of me speaking on stage like a reel, and I just boost it to them. So the same audience has seen my face over and over and over again. So there's a little bit more trust in this case, which is why I actually break some of my rules. Like I would typically not tell them all of the stuff they're getting in this ad. I would say, want to join a copywriting mentorship, ? DM me to learn more. And that would basically be it. It would be very short, and I would get them to direct message me. And then I would, baby step them through everything that they're getting. But because these people are like a lukewarm audience, they're not super hot or warm or anything, but they've seen my face. They kind of know who I am a little bit because I've been, marketing to them for the last few months. I just kind of gave my offer straight up what it was. So I say copywriting mentorship, special half off deal. If you've ever wanted to join the Copywriting Unleashed mentorship, this is your chance. I'm going to offer you a special half off deal this week for Thanksgiving. So I'm essentially telling them what the deal, without giving price, but I'm telling them they're getting a half off deal. Why are they getting it? Because that's a very important reason. If you don't say why the deal is going on, no one believes it's a real deal, and they're going to assume it's just going to last forever. So it's kind of going back to that urgency period, or that urgency stuff. So I say this is for Thanksgiving. So after Thanksgiving, this will not be available. You'll get, and I list all the cool stuff that they get. And then I say, if you're interested, DM me half off. right? So in this
So-
case, go ahead.
Yeah, and real quick on here. So just let's go back to the TC example. I mean, simple, type out a story to say, attention real estate agents. Did you know you can hire me free for free as your TC, as your transaction coordinator? Or real estate agents, if you're paying more than $0 for your transaction coordinator, we should talk. DM me free TC, something like that would be. And then you got people reaching out. If you're trying to get real estate clients, this is where, just like we talked about, hey, first time home buyers scared of the current interest rates. Did you know that we can still get you last year's interest rates? If interested, DM me, last year or something, or interest rates or something like that. So something very simple to the point to get them to DM you is a great way to tap into if you haven't really understood how to monetize your Instagram and you've been building up that following, and you think, and we get under the impression sometimes that just posting, oh, here's this month's market report. Hey, here's a picture of the home I sold, hey, call me. I'm going to post something that says, call me, if you're interested in Dallas, Texas, call me. Well, this is what we talk about in our coursework all the time. The reason we don't do intro videos or trailer videos about ourselves is because in our opinion, it's a premature sales pitch. Everybody's a real estate agent. Everybody, can call somebody to buy, sell, or invest. But what they don't see is agents. And I've got a lot of agents on my Instagram, and I never see them post a story that says, attention potential homeowners, or thinking of buying a home but scared of this market's, that's a direct call to action to say, but did you know that I can still get you last year's interest rates in today's market? I've never seen anybody post something. It's always, here's this month's market report. Call me to buy, sell, or invest. Here's the last property I sold. Call me to buy, sell, or invest. Hey, I'm with KW for 20 years. I can help you buy, sell, or invest. Call me. But instead, when you throw in the value add, the statement of what Carlos talked about, which is you got to grab their attention, right? Mention something that they're interested in, and then a pain point usually associated with that, and then a sense of urgency with that. That's how you start to monetize. That's how you have these call to actions. You could do polls, think last year's interest rates are gone, yes or no. All the people that say no, Instagram tells you who marks no, still in the market, but scared of buying a home because of the interest rates. Yes or no. All the people that say yes are potential. That's a funnel, that's a opt-in. That's an opt-in page. And you can do that for free all day long on Instagram.
Exactly. I wanted to show you guys one of these ads because this ad goes to people who want to hire me for my copywriting service. So just kind of so you guys have an idea of what I'm showing you. The first ad I showed you was for my copywriting mentorship, where I train copywriters how to be copywriters and how to get clients. And then I have my other part of the business where I actually do the thing I'm teaching. I'm actually writing copy for clients. So I have ads targeting copywriters to join my mentorship. And then I have ads targeting real estate agents, business owners, et cetera, to hire me to actually write their copy for them. So those are the two types of ads. First one you saw was targeting copywriters. This one is targeting a much colder audience that doesn't know me. So these are business owners, real estate agents, like brick and mortar businesses, like nail salons, spas, etc. And I think this one is actually like a spa or something. So the ad grabs their attention. So I would say, here I say, attention business owners. Want someone to write your ad so they bring you more leads and sales? That's a yes question. It gets them to want to say yes. And then I give them a call to action, DM me ads. If we were to repurpose this or kind of use it as a template, I would kind of do it like what Levi was talking about here. I was writing it down because I thought it was good. I would say, attention anyone in the Dallas area looking to buy a home. That's pretty damn specific without calling out a specific person. So that's going to grab their attention if they are that person. Next line. Want to buy a home with last year's interest rates? Question mark. Yeah, that sounds pretty sweet. Okay, DM me interest rate. And that would be the ad. And then I would just target the folks that would be a good fit for that in your specific area. And then that's what's going to get them to respond to you. And so from this point now, you have a couple of options. I'll typically, my first go-to thing is I speak with them. I have a back and forth conversation. I chat with them a little bit. And then I introduce, if you have a salesperson or someone who's going to close them for you, introduce them to that person. If it's you, you just give them your own link so that you can book a call with them and enroll them in your program or close them on whatever deal you're closing them on. But if you have someone who's going to close a deal for you, like in my case, I do, I have them DM me. I talk to them a little bit, and then I have them. Let me see. I actually have one I'm working on right now. So then I introduce them to Mike, who's on my team. So here we go. Okay, great. Can I introduce you to Coach Mike through IG group chat so you guys can schedule a short call and see if it's a good fit? He didn't respond fast enough, so I just made the intro anyway. And then I showed that the offer is expiring on Thursday. He said, that sounds good. And so now he's going to be chatting back and forth with my sales guy. But let's say, for example, he said, I'm not sure right now. And he was a little bit hesitant about getting introduced or about booking a call with me if I was going to try and do it. Then what I would do is use the funnel that we're talking about here, the opt-in funnel with a video on the next page and everything. And I would say, okay, no worries. Can I send you a link to check out a case study video where you see some of the samples of what we've done and some of the results we've generated for clients? Yes, send me that, because now it's non-threatening. He doesn't have to worry about getting pitched on the phone before he's ready. And so then we send him a link to the opt-in page. He opts in, watches the video, and books a call on his own. And if he doesn't book a call, we can at least keep following up with them through Instagram and email. And if you ask for a telephone number on your opt-in page, you can also follow up with calls and text messages. But I wanted to show you this because traffic has always been something I've struggled with in the past. I've done Facebook ads, I've done solo ads, I've done all these types of things. And some of them have worked great. Some of them have not worked that great. But the thing that's worked for me pretty consistently, especially this year, has been Instagram DM ads. That's where I'm putting a lot of my paid money strategies, is on Instagram DM ads, because it's very cheap and cost effective to target who you're trying to go after and have a conversation started. And one of the things I ended up realizing, because I used to try and just automate the whole process, I didn't have to talk to anybody. But my sales, my numbers, my business continued to grow just by doing this, because conversations lead to conversions. It sounds corny, but it really is true, because they don't yet know you. And so if you're talking to them like a normal human being, qualifying them a little bit, what are you doing? Well, in my case, I asked them, what are you doing for marketing? Have you ever hired a copywriter? Blah, 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 stuff like that. It builds that trust that I'm actually a real human, not just a bot or a fly-by-night company. And when they're ready, after a few back and forth messages, then I push them to book a call. So again, I know this is, around my business, but this is something that can easily be done for real estate agents. I know real estate agents and loan officers are actually using this strategy, like actively using it. So it's not a lot, though. It's very few real estate agents, but the few I do know that are using it are getting great results, because it's much easier to just have these conversations started when someone says, hey, when you have an ad that says, hey, attention anyone in the city, whatever city, want last year's interest rates to buy your home or something like that. If they're interested, that's going to be a very easy way for you to get the conversation going.
Hey, Carlos.
Yes.
How much, let's put you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
How much would you charge for 10 Instagram story copy written headlines, opt-ins, basically? Like if anybody on this call wanted to say, hey, Carlos, I'm in Denver, Colorado. I'm in Sarasota, Florida. And actually, well, shit, you probably just write 10 and it'd pretty much be the same for, I already gave y'all 3 or 4 already. So make sure. But let's say if somebody wanted, because I think, you want a good variety too, right? And you could post these throughout. So let's say like 10 different things. And you may need to calculate this, so you don't have to answer, but this is something that Carlos is what we've hired Carlos in our business for. So actually I won't make you answer that right now, but something to think about. This is where you want to go to someone like Carlos and say, okay, hey dude, I'm in San Diego. I would love, 10 copywritten, just, opt-in questions or something that I could get people to DM, because then you don't have to worry about ClickFunnels or high level. You don't have to, which by the way, for those that are in our CRM is built in high level, and you have the ability to build all of these opt-in pages. We've given you a couple for like the buyer and seller survey, but for those that don't have anything, you can get an account through our CRM, and that's $97 a month, and you can build out this stuff in there. It's all included. You can hook up calendars, all kinds of stuff. That's a whole different class, but you would come to somebody like Carlos, like we've did, and say, hey, here's the scenario. This is what we're looking for. And Carlos will say, okay, cool. He'll do a little bit of research, so he understands how to position that. And so we would say, Carlos, okay, so I want to target buyers in San Diego. I want to target sellers in Denver, Colorado. How much for 5 or 10 different little, this is like mini copy, right? He could probably write these in his sleep. And so this is what you want to come to Carlos for. So I would encourage you to DM him the word, DM him real agents or passive prospecting. Yeah, DM passive prospecting, because this is a form of passive prospecting in itself, right? Where you're just putting something out there. It's very simple, and you're targeting your audience. This is what you've built up your whole audience for, is to initiate a call to action to get some movement on there. But just posting market reports and what you sold last month, and you sitting in the office looking cool behind the computer is not going to initiate people to reach out to you, right? You have to sell something, right? You have to put some effort into that. You have to have that call to action. You have to ask for the business, which is why on all of our videos, we talk about asking for the business on the videos, because we want people to know we're here to help you. And that's why we say, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, schedule a Zoom. All of that information is in the description below. We tell them where to go, where to find that information. So this is exactly, DM Carlos on Instagram if you'd like to talk to him about writing some opt-in pages, because you're capable of doing that, right, Carlos?
Yeah. I can actually, just not to waste anyone's time, I can give you like my just flat rate pricing, and I can also answer some of these questions in here because I saw some more questions popping up. So if anybody wanted to just have some of like the story ads written, if you wanted 10 of them, it would be $500. If you wanted to have the full funnel, which is actually what I would suggest, where we do the copy for all of the ads, your follow-up emails, the opt-in page, and a 10-minute video sales letter script that you can use to actually get these folks to book a call, that package is $5K, and it also comes with 3 months of unlimited support, revisions, and optimization. So as you're testing it, if for some reason it's not working the way you want, I go back in there, revise it 100% free to make sure it is working. I also saw there was a few, so if anyone is interested in that, just, shoot me a message either on Instagram or Facebook. We'll schedule a short call, figure out exactly what it is you're trying to accomplish.
And real quick, you said 500 for 10 story.
Yeah. If somebody just wants the story ads, the copy for the story ads and not a funnel, it would be $500 for 10.
I think that's a steal right there. And the thing is once you see how he writes out those 10, not to take away business from Carlos, but it'll trigger some juices for you that you could probably write your next 10, and then that way you have a good little system, a good little flow. The thing is that you either pay for experience or convenience, right? Or sometimes both. Could I write that stuff out? Yes, absolutely. But at the same time, if I can push that over to someone like Carlos and he can knock it out super quick, give me something else, then it's one of those convenience things. But I think that's a good opportunity. The secondary part of that's definitely a lot more extensive and involves a more of a conversation, and you need to have a good understanding of what your offer is and what you want to do. So I would just advise you to think about that too. But that's why we brought Carlos on here, not to sell y'all anything, but just to let you know that people are experts in these fields and these areas, and we pay for expertise a lot. That's what's allowed us to grow so quickly. And instead of taking $50,000 to put down on a house right now, to let's say, let's buy a house and diversify. We've just made the choice that we find people like Carlos and Pete and these other people we've invested in over the last year that's where we've put our money, because we know we can get a much faster return. For example, we had Carlos write out an email campaign for us, cost us $15K. It was a lot of emails though. And we were hoping within 30 to 60 days, if we get that return, well worth it. And we got that return back and doubled that within the first 2 weeks, because of those emails going out to our current database. And that's the thing, is that a lot of you on here have way more experience in real estate than ourselves. And you've got huge databases. And do you have the right emails and the right campaigns to retarget your own database? Those are the things that you want to ask yourself and think about, especially right now, whenever things are wishy-washy, right? Everything seems very concerning to a lot of people, and interest rates, if they're really scaring people off, then that's what I would be thinking about. And to your point, Carlos, this is what, like I said, I think that would be a great headline, right? A great opt-in, which is, discover how to get last year's interest rates in today's market. Just something that simple is nothing I'm hearing or seeing anywhere. And that, if that's the biggest concern right now for people, because right now, if you put an offer on a house, you're going to get a deal. You're going to get a deal. It's just a matter of on the interest rates. But if you understand how to have that discussion with people, how to buy down rates, how to get concessions from the seller, how to get concessions from the builder, and how to work that in and get the rate down to where it's at a 4%, because it's bought down, and that actually saves them more money than trying to go in 50K less. And that's the thing, you got to run the math on these types of scenarios as well. If just offering 50,000 less on a home, which you could probably do that right now, but does that really serve the client the best way? Well, if you do the math on it, getting the home for 50,000 less with today's interest rates is not going to save you money as compared to using, concessions to buy down the rate 2 or 3%. And then that's going to save you a lot more on the monthly payment and the interest in the long run, and holds the equity in the neighborhood. Right. And so, because if you go in 50K less in that market, that becomes the new comp. And then guess what? Somebody comes in after you, they come in at 50K less. And then you're just cannibalizing your own neighborhoods, versus get the concessions, buy down the rate, save the client more money on the monthly anyways, and still get a home at list price, those types of things. Those are the conversations you have after the fact. But you want to pique interest, pique curiosity. And the way to do that is think of, catchy phrases. The same thing we talk about with thumbnails. Thumbnails are an opt-in, so to speak, right? We tell a story on a thumbnail on a YouTube video through visual and reading, words, and through visual components and with words. It's just a lot smaller opt-in page with less words. And we always say the best thumbnail can tell the best story with no words. So if your picture can tell the story to get somebody to click, you've got a very powerful opt-in page. So all of this applies to what we talk about. You didn't even think about that before, huh, Carlos? Huh?
Dude, I loved it. I was like, whoa, freaking boom.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. Your YouTube thumbnail is a landing page technically, and guess what? The challenge is it gets thrown up when somebody logs onto YouTube. It gets thrown up with 30 other landing pages right next to it. So are you going to win the click? That's what you have to ask yourself. Is this thumbnail good enough? Is my text good enough? Is my headline good enough? And your headline, which we talk about all the time, that has to be structured. But you're trying to win that opt-in for somebody to click on that video and watch the video. Now, some of you have been twiddling your thumbs on, how do I monetize Instagram? I've got this audience. I've been building it. I've been nurturing it. I've been doing, posting all this content. Well, now's the time to ask for the business. And the best way to do that is through these opt-in stories.
Yeah, I love this. I think either your next book, and if you don't do it, it'll be the title of my next book, is Win the Click. That is such a great title. Win the Click. Man, that was great. I learned right there as well. So this was awesome. I'm looking at the chat here, and I see we got some questions coming up. So Diana said, so if no one responds to the story, do you send the ad individually via DM? I do not. I suppose you could it's just a lot more manual stuff. And I'm trying to automate as much as I can because there's another question here about either do I respond manually? I do respond manually to the text message responses or the ad responses, but Instagram allows you to save, have 20 saved replies. And so so I have all of my replies basically are copy and pasted in there. And so when someone says, yes, I'm interested, I just, click on one of the saved replies that goes at that time. So yes, I'm responding to people manually, but there are kind of canned replies that I'm just copy and pasting back to people. But you also, there's actually it's weird. It's like this new thing that popped up, like a new job that popped up like last year or a year and a half ago called, there's a bunch of different names. Some people call them setters, some people call them DM closers, etc. But there's people who are now like it's their job for a couple grand a month to go through your Instagram, and their job is to make sure that they're responding and following up with everyone that has hit you up from an ad. So if you're spending $50 a day, I spend about $50 a day, maybe a little bit more on my ad. So it's not a lot, but I'll have DMs coming in every single day. And it's not such crazy volume that I can't personally follow up with them. But if you did have like a ridiculous volume, spending $1,000 a day or something, you have tons of people coming in, there is a position out there called a DM closer that their entire job is just to live in your Instagram DMs and make sure booked appointments are coming in and getting scheduled. And so hopefully that answers that question. And then also, I don't send out my ad individually to people. I just make sure I'm responding to everyone who hits me up from the ad because they're the most qualified anyway, because they took the time to actually respond. So that's usually how I do it. It's kind of like it self-filters itself that way. Paul says, let me read this one. So Paul says, do you feel that there are audiences that this doesn't work for? Said different, I am definitely interested in your services for real estate sales to client consumers, but the other area that I have significant interest in significant interest in is agent attraction for EXP. Does this stuff work for that agent attraction environment? Also for agent attraction, would it be in the IGDM environment, or would you or where do you think would be the best focus for these efforts?
Hey, Carlos can write, but he can't read. So he's
man. I was born to lead, not to lead.
But short answer is, Paul, yes, this works for real estate clients. This works for agent attraction. This works for, if you want to sell mop heads, to janitors. I mean, yes, copy and taglines, opt-ins, it all works.
Yeah. And even to get more specific with it, the targeting, the DM strategy works for this. And so does the book a call funnel. They both work. It's just, the DM one requires just more talking with the texting back and forth and then sending them to go book a call with you. And then the DM funnel, you can do that and then send them to the funnel so they watch a video, be more qualified. There's all that stuff. The approach you take, whether they go through the DMs or they go opt in first directly from your ad, it's almost like a preference and just testing, but both of them do work because I've done it in the real estate space. It's just very, very rarely done in the real estate space. I think most folks are still doing cold calls and a lot of other things, which works great. But this type of stuff is something that can help automate some of that. So to answer your question, just like what Levi was saying, you can definitely do this, both a book a call funnel as well as DM ads, and even combining those two to make it more impactful works really well. Let's see here. What if I don't have an IG account? Will this still work for me if I'm new to it? Yes, you'll have to obviously get an Instagram account. But even if it's completely new, it can still work. The reason why it can still work well is because you're using paid advertising. You're not relying on your actual follower base to respond to your Instagram stories. Now, if they do, that's just gravy. That just means you've done a great job on building your audience. And so there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't need that because you're spending, say, $20 a day or $50 a day or whatever your budget is. I would suggest at least $20 a day. But if you're spending $20 a day for, say, a week at a time, that's perfectly fine because your ad will go out to the people you want it to reach. So it's not going to rely on whether you have a current follower base or not. However, I would suggest that you become a bit more active on that new channel as quickly as possible, because what happens is someone may respond to your DM ad interested, they're really interested, but if they go to your profile and it's got 0 posts and like 1 follower, they may think you're a scammer, right? Because it's going to be like, is this a scam account? So you want to also think about your page kind of like maybe like a resume or like a portfolio. This is to build trust. So you can have pictures of your family, you can have pictures of your business, but just have some kind of activity on there. Because if you're just running the ad and everything else is completely blank, it's not like you won't reach people. You will get people to DM you. I would just be worried that they're not going to convert because they don't necessarily trust you. So hopefully that answers your question. But yes, it will work if you're a completely new account. You just want to make sure you get active on it as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Well, I think that covers it, right, on the questions there?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't see any others come in. I wanted to make sure I went through them all, though. So I think we did.
What can we look forward to next week, Carlos?
So I have a few different ideas. One of the things I was really thinking about is, since we've talked about opt-in pages today, one of the things that I think would be really good is to go over emails, because it's very simple to write email copy, but for some folks, it takes hours to write a single email because they don't know where to start. So I want to give you guys, just like what I did with the opt-in page, a simple framework. In fact, we actually went over it on the first training, but we went over like 13 frameworks, so you probably don't remember them all. We're going to go dive deep into one specific framework, show you how to write email copy so that you can convert a lot more of these people into booked calls or take an action that you want them to take. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. And if you guys want the slides of this presentation and last week's presentation, just send me a direct message, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, Carlos Redlich, Redlich. Tell me that you saw this and you're friends with Levi and Travis, and you saw this specific training, and I'll make sure I just give you the link so you can check out. The link so you can check out the slides. So that's what we'll be going over, and I'm excited to do it. Thank you again, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you for joining us on today's podcast. If you're interested in partnering with us to access our YouTube course and coaching at no cost, schedule a call at passiveprospectingpartner.com.